Hey YouTube, Chars, and I'm going to try out my new Parahacks team, see how that goes. So he starts out with, well known the Ninetales, and I start out with Gun to Go, because you know it's a Parahacks team, you kind of have to. And so he decides to Solar Beam me, and that doesn't really do anything. So I'm going to go for the obvious move and paralyze him with Thunder Wave. And since it's a Bullet Beaming Porygon 2, you can't really do anything else besides Thunderbolt and Ice Beam. Ice Beam isn't really effective, so I have to use Thunderbolt. And he's just going to try and kill me off with Fire Blast, and he actually does, but I get a pretty good damage on him, considering the fact that he's paralyzed. So, Gun to Go, I'd say it did his job. I'm going to get another Thunderbolt in before he kills me. And that is the end of Gun to Go. But I've got a little surprise for him. You guys ready? BAM! Politoed! And I named him Parade because he's raining and I'm raining on my own parade. Doesn't make sense now, does it? And so I assume he goes for the Solar Beam, so later I comment, charging the Solar Beam always fails, and he's like, lols. So he goes into Zaplarang the Electric, I think. I don't really care. I'll use it. So I Hydro Pump it, and it actually does a decent amount of damage, and he's not really doing anything to my Politoed. So I'm just going to keep Hydro Pumping his entire team until Parade eventually dies. And so he goes into Beasliflor, the Venusaur, and you think it would do a lot of damage with Solar Beam, but he doesn't. It actually kind of surprises me. And then so I Ice Beam his Venusaur with my Politoed. That was awkward. So he's gonna die, not doing very much damage to me at all. Well, he got me under half, but it doesn't really matter because it's a Politoed. It's already taken out 2 Pokemon, I don't really care. He dies at this point. I mean, he's already set up Rain. That's like a big part of my team. Or for coming back anyway. So he uses Synthesis, and I'm like, why would you do that? You're not going to live in Ice Beam. And then so he dies. So my Politoed has taken down 3 Pokemon, and I still have 5 left. I'm feeling pretty confident, and then he goes into this Lilligant. And I'm really confused as to why he would use that. It's probably part of a Sun team, but... So he decides to Solar Beam me. Doesn't do much. I go for a Hydro Pump. It does over half, so I'm like, you're gonna die. And he's gonna get Ice Beamed again, and I think he dies, I'm not entirely sure. But... Oh, no, he gets Hydro Pumped. And he dies. So he goes into Ladder King, the Slacking, I think, and he kills me, and I'm like, you have Turret, so you're not going to be able to move the next turn, why not go into my Charge Champ and take you down with the Dynamic Punch? And I thought he would die, considering it's super effective stab, but he doesn't, and he gets confused, and he's obviously not going to live with that if he hits himself, so he calls it back, and then he sends in Admurai. I'm not sure if these are Japanese names or not, but my Dynamic Punch does over half, and he's confused, so he can't really do anything about that. And so I'm going to Dynamic Punch him again, and that's the end of that Shamrock. He goes back into his Slacking, and he's going to try and take me out, but he's not going to because my Charge Champ is way too awesome for that, with his 4 Shoulder Blades. So I Dynamic Punch, and he's done.